Hi everybody, this is Dr. Soffer again. So I want to talk to you today about a concept called Hygge. Hygge. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's spelled Hyggge. Hygge. And this is a concept from Denmark, and it's really all about creating a nice, comfortable atmosphere for yourself. You know, cozying up with a warm mug or curling up with a nice blanket and a good book, and really just creating that getting all five senses and giving yourself a space of comfort. So much about your environment, what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you taste is important to healing. It's as important as anything else. And we know this in medicine. So a really cool study came out about 30 years ago that really shifted our perspective on this. And what it did was it took patients who had hospital bedrooms, and some bedrooms had trees outside with beautiful windows with trees outside, and some bedrooms had a window just facing a brick wall. And what they found was that the patients who were looking upon the trees were using less pain medication, left the hospital earlier, and overall their nurses just liked them more. So we know that something as simple as that, as what we see, can really, really change how we heal. We also know that things like music can reduce stress, and they release dopamine and endorphins and serotonin and all these good feeling neurotransmitters into our brain that help us. So things like music and stimulating the senses in a really good way. So why did Hygge come about? So it comes from the word Hyggekrog. Again, I'm probably really pronouncing that wrong, but it means creating a corner for yourself, creating a space for yourself. And in Denmark, there's much shorter days. The sun goes down quite a bit earlier, and they need to find ways to really make themselves feel better. So even though we have longer days in the United States, we're all stuck in this pandemic, and we're all stuck inside with unnatural lighting, and we're seeking out ways to make ourselves feel comfortable that aren't always in the most productive ways possible. So we're eating highly caloric, dense foods, we're doing lots of online shopping, we're binging and streaming, the latest TV show. And while these make us feel good in the moment, they're not sustainable. They're not helping us for the long term. So what's so nice about Hygge is that we can really focus on sustainable ways to just make ourselves feel better and shifting our environment. So I like to think about it in our senses. How do we stimulate our senses? So let's think about sight first. So sight, first and foremost, the environment that you're creating for yourself. So a lot of unnatural lighting isn't healthy. So try to get yourself close to a window with good natural lighting. Having that flashing TV on it feels good momentarily, but it's probably not doing so good for your brain. So maybe even turning down the lights a little bit, creating a nice warm environment for yourself. Smell. So lighting a scented candle or burning some incense. People really do find lavender and bergamot, those essential oils, really, really calming. So create a nice smell for your environment. So touch is really important. So find your most comfortable clothing. Instead of putting it on lazily because we're bored and because we're not leaving the house, do it intentionally. Say to yourself, I'm putting on my most comfortable sweater. I'm putting on my most comfortable sweatpants. Excuse me. And find yourself a blanket, a nice, warm, cozy blanket that you can snuggle up to. So we went through touch, smell, sight, and let's think about taste. So finding yourself a nice, herbal, decaffeinated tea. My favorite is ginger lemon honey tea with some fresh ginger lemon. Buying from some local honey purveyors. And also thinking about those warming foods that we see in Ayurveda. With winter coming, all of these root vegetables are showing up in our markets and showing up in our farmers markets. And I really want you to think about purchasing them, because in the Ayurvedic tradition, in the Indian medicine tradition, these are really considered warming foods. And then finally, thinking about listening. You know, Hygge is a great opportunity to be in a social environment, in a social situation, but in a much more comfortable way. So listening to people, talking to people, having these conversations, turning off the TV. That's going to be so important. And if you're alone, putting on some good, soothing, calming music can really be beneficial too. So sometimes integrative medicine isn't all about meditation or keeping a rigid practice. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's really just about being in your place, finding a nice, comfortable spot to just simply be present. So I hope you all got something out of this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you get your Hygge on. Take care.